We now turn to the Health Watch.
And you might have heard earlier this year, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Percy Harvin, a rookie out of Florida, made headlines for missing many days of practice, even a game, for migraine headaches. But his story, just one of many.
News 3's David Douglas tonight with more on the condition that was truly debilitating for one local woman, David.
Yeah, and let's talk for a second, Susan. When you have a headache, you might reach for something like this, Advil or maybe Tylenol. But what about a headache so severe, so debilitating, that it takes something injectable to control, and sometimes that isn't even enough? It wasn't for a Sauk City woman who finally found relief.
That's Bart Simpson.
A 4-year-long fight to manage her migraines taught Stephanie Breinig a thing or two about coloring.
What color are you going to make Lisa?
She had to learn to live life inside the lines.
I just kind of decided that this is not how I wanted my life to be, and I was going to do anything I could to change the pattern that we were experiencing.
A pattern for the mother of 3 that included what doctors call daily chronic migraines.
I get really nauseated and I vomit, and I can't stand light, and I can't stand noise. I just need to shut myself in a black room until it hopefully subsides.
They started with her second pregnancy, and for nearly 2 years left her on disability, unable to work or care for her kids.
I was like a zombie, and didn't want to live my life if that's the way it was going to be.
Even if you manage your lifestyle very well and you avoid all the trigger factors, most patients will still get migraines because it's a genetic predisposition to get these migraine headaches.
Stephanie tried literally dozens of medications, pills, nasal sprays, injections. Nothing could get a handle on her headaches, leaving the hospital as her only recourse. She even traveled out of state to a headache hospital and still did not find an answer. And while Stephanie knew medication would always be part of her life with migraines, she also knew it wasn't the answer to completely controlling them. That was something she'd have to figure out herself.
You know, I just saw something different in my future for my kids that didn't include taking 8 medications a day.
Under care at the UW, she started a hormone therapy and describes the rest as mind over matter.
I ate better, I started exercising, and those are the things that turned it around for me. How my doctor explained it was my pain receptors just cooled down, and then I was able to respond to some migraine medications that weren't working in the past.
It meant a new way of doing things, making time for herself and staying on schedule. But Stephanie's discovered life, like pictures, can be so much prettier when you stay inside the lines.
I have 3 young children, and I work full-time, and I needed to get back to my life.
And we're glad she's been able to. Part of that zombie feeling Stephanie had were from all the narcotics she was on for pain, which actually do nothing to control the migraine. Her doctors at the UW took all of those drugs off the table, and she feels that's another reason she was able to turn the corner.
And much different if you just have intense headaches. That's one thing. Migraines, whole different ball game here. What is it that causes the migraines to feel that different way of pain?
Well, let me try to explain this to you. Inside the brain, the blood vessels are actually vasodilating. They're expanding and then actually leaking fluid, and that triggers an inflammatory response inside the brain. And that gives you an idea why this is so painful. And part of the reason they're so hard to treat is they're different for everybody. The triggers are different for everyone, and finding what those things are, eliminating them, can be very difficult.
Well, it's a real hopeful message for something that affects so many people. It's a very, very common problem. News 3's David Douglas reporting tonight. David, thank you.